Knob here, and today I'll have a huge video for you today. I'll be tackling an ultimate general PVE and PvP hero tier list for King God Castle. But before that, we reached over 1,000 subscribers. So in celebration, I'm gonna give away a month subscription of Discord Nitro Classic to 3 people. Yes, 3 people. All you have to do to enter is 1, be subscribed, 2, like this video, and 3, leave a comment down below on this specific video telling me who your favorite hero is and why. I'll be running the giveaway until August 24th, 12 a.m. KST, and we'll be announcing the winners the following video. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm super happy that you guys are enjoying the videos as much as I enjoy making them, and it means a ton. I have some other things I want to do on the channel, such as live streams and such, so be sure to stick around and support the channel. So back to the main topic. Ultimate Hero tier list for the game King God Castle for both PvP and PvE for all the current characters as of Android patch 2.4.8. It's actually a really difficult thing to do, but today I'll be tackling it just for you guys. It's actually, there's a reason why you actually don't see these kinds of tier lists, right? So it's actually pretty difficult to put these characters in a regular grading system because all of them are actually really good and really strong. Depending on what mode, they're really strong. Some people are weak, but on top of that, depending on your progression of your account, you might be a beginner, you might be like in the mid-tier progression, or you're maybe in the top end with all the high-level players. Depending on where you are in this progression, your tier lists is drastically different. So that's why you don't really see these tier lists, and it's always confusing when someone asks like, oh, is this character good? And then you kind of get the answer, yeah, they're good, but later. They're not great for you now, but I'm pretty sure he's godlike later, you know, that kind of thing. So for this video, to make it possible, I'm going to assume that all heroes are at level 14, so with awakenings and everything. For each hero, I'm going to be considering a lot of things, such as their viability in both PvP and PvE, their usefulness, how often they're used, how standard they are, and things like that. So yeah. Alright, as I mentioned before, each hero in this game is actually really strong, depending on many things, so I feel like it's not really justifiable if I graded them on a regular grading system tier list, right? So, instead, today, I'll be doing my tier list based on an alignment chart. So, this is the best way that I think that will accurately depict how I feel about each hero and where they stand in both PvE and PvP. All right, so let's see what we have defined here in our alignment chart. So at the bottom we have PvP. Obviously that is arena mode. If you see a hero down towards this area, that means they are usually in meta arena builds, or they excel at PvP more than PvE and things like that. And at the top we have PvE. This considers all PvE modes such as chapter builds, gold expeditions, and even raids. Yes, raids. So even the top alliance meta raid builds I'll be considering. All right, so to the right we have amazingly strong, and then to the left we have not strong. I didn't feel like having weak and strong to be what is defined. I feel like the gap would have been too large, so yeah, that's what I ended up with. So we have not strong, and I guess the 25% will be kind of strong, and then the middle will be strong, and then the 75 percentile would be pretty strong, and then you have amazingly strong. So we'll just go with that for now, right? All right, so that's how I define my alignment chart tier list. So let's go ahead and start. Let's just go through and do it in alphabetical order. So the first one we have is Agathe. So Agathe, so she is definitely seen in PvP for sure, in high elo. She's about... you know, these can be adjusted and tweaked as I go along. Not amazingly strong. She's like here. She's like here. Like pretty strong. Pretty strong. So like something like this, right? I feel good about that. She's used in high elo builds very often. She has a high health pool. Her skill reduces damage, and then when she dies, she gives health to her surrounding teammates. So she's really solid. And yeah, about right here. We can always change this as we go along. It's all right. So the next one on the list is going to be Alberon, one of the premier healers in the game. He's seen in PvP in the Stunlock comps and also some other ones. But I'm going to have to put him more towards the PvE range. because of raids, and he's also hero lock, right? So I can't really not think about that. He's about like here. He's about like here. I feel weird putting him like over here, but he is a healer, but by himself he sucks, obviously, but you know, like something like this. I think he's like this. So he's seen in a lot of raid builds. He's a hero lock character, so you always see him in chapter builds. And he's not all the way up here, right? Because he's using PvP as well in like the stunlock builds and things like that. So yeah, something like this. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. So the next one, Aramis. He is amazingly strong. I will put him all the way to the right. He's like in the middle. He's in the middle. So PvE, because he's in gang builds. He's a starter hero. You use him pretty much all the time. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people out there that are tired of seeing him. And in arena, he's a terror. He's actually crazy strong even right now. They buffed his attack base damage and things like that. So yeah, in the middle. I would say in the middle, something like this. So Asiaq, pretty niche. She is mainly seen in PvE for sure. You barely see her in PvE. There are some niche uses and, you know, but PvP is mainly where you see her. She's actually pretty strong. Again, if you know Asiaq and you know how to use her, then she's really good, but otherwise, she's not that great. But I feel like I'll put her somewhere like here. Somewhere like here. You know what? Something like this. Yeah. Bardrey. Bardrey is the only character in the game that actually gives others mana, besides obviously altars, right? You can do altar mage, but Bardrey is pretty much the premier battery character of the game, and just because of that, I'm just going to put her in the amazingly strong side. I feel weird doing it all the way here, so she's like somewhere here. And for PvE or PvE, I'm gonna have to put him like around Alberon, so something like this. So she's used in all the main meta raid builds, and she's a hero lock character, things like that, but she's also used in PvP for like the stunlock builds and things like that. So yeah, so Behemus gang. I'm pretty sure you guys are tired of facing that in arena. So Behemus, definitely PvP. You almost never see him in PvE. He's not used in raids either. He's like here. He's like, well, they kind of nerfed him a bit. I'm gonna put him like here because I can actually beat Behemus comps generally, and since they nerfed it a little bit, it's a little more easier. So yeah, something like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I feel good about that. So next one we have on the list is going to be Bombie, who has fallen off a little bit actually. So Bombie, he's really good. Usually seen in PvP nowadays. You actually don't really see him in PvE builds. He's not used in raids either. Of course, high level raids. And then he's around like here. He's around like here. So pretty good. I'd say pretty good. Somewhere like this. All right, so for Cain, you actually see him for like chapter 9 builds actually. But he's not that popular in PvE. You actually see him more in PvP. Actually use him in PvP. He's really fun. So I feel comfortable putting him in down this 50 percentile. For his strength, I'll put him past Bombie around like here. Yeah, something like this. Something like this. They did buff him. Yeah, something like that. So Chung Ah used to be really good. Nowadays, it's kind of alright, really good for newbie beginner players. She's kind of strong, and she's definitely only PvE. Definitely, you do see her in like low elo PvP, but that's not what we're judging it on. So I'm gonna say strictly PvE. And you know what? I'll give her. She's kind of something like that. Daniel is you actually can see him in PvE. He can actually tank because he has a pretty high health pool, but mainly though he is really popular in high level arena PvP. He's actually pretty strong. So like around here, pretty strong. Since he can tank in PVE, I'm gonna move him up a little bit. So something like this. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I like that. So for Draco, you usually never see him in PVE. So mainly PvP. So I'm gonna drag him down here. For strength, he's like, I want to say he's like Daniel Cain tier, you know? Like Cain, yeah, something like, right now he's kind of, he's okay. He's okay, you know? He's like here. Yeah, he's like there. There are actually Draco builds that are really good. It depends on the meta, right? Depends on the meta. But right now, he's like not the best right now. So yeah, I feel good about that. Next one, we have your boy Evan. So your boy Evan, sick recent skin that just came out. He is definitely amazingly strong right now. And I would put him like around Aramis levels right now. So he's actually, you know, the premier chapter 10 build clear. Supposedly right now he's used in arena. So I actually haven't really seen too many, but apparently he's been getting used. So I guess he's in the middle. So like something like this along with Aramis. Yeah, sounds about right. Sorry, Aramis, and cover his face. So the next one, we have actually the new hero, Haerang. So he's an interesting one. So I tried to make him work for chapter 10. It's almost impossible, by the way, because he's basically a Yeon, but he lacks the damage, but has a bunch of CC. I definitely think he's a PvP guy, not a PvE. And I have faced him, and a lot of people have been using him PvP, and he's actually really effective because he can just stun lock your team. So yeah. I'm going to put him in PvP. He's actually pretty strong right now. He's actually pretty strong. He's used in the Stunlock trio builds and stuff like that with Behemus even. And you just throw one in there and then you can get some pretty good stuns off. So yeah, I'm actually going to put, yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it like a little up, like Cain level-ish. Something like that. Something like that, yeah. Maybe like that. Yeah. Hansi, she in the previous seasons, in the past, she was pretty dominating. And lately, you actually see a lot less of her. It's kind of weird seeing all of these other heroes. And yeah, like Hansi's like in the middle, like here somewhere. Yeah, for sure. Like she's not like pretty strong like these characters right now. So which is weird to say because she's always been really dominant. So yeah, somewhere here, and then to be honest, you don't really see her in PvP right now. You really don't. So she's definitely more PvE based right now. You know what? I'll drag her down a little bit, just because she can be used in PvP and it's still a thing. So. I'm do something like this. She's actually used in raids actually, so you can do Hansi gang and raids as a econ build. So Hansi right now is kind of, you know, she's mid, she's mediocre, you know, she's like right here. Hela next. So Hela, she got nerfed due to her health pool, so she's a little more squishy. Got some nerfs over the few patches, but she's still pretty good. She's used in PvP builds and then also PvE builds. She can do pretty much everything. So I'd say she's like in the middle. She's in the middle. And she's still pretty strong. She's still pretty strong. She's like here. Yeah, like past Bombie. Something like this. Yeah. I'm happy with that. Good old Joel. Good old Joel. So Joel received a buff, and he's actually pretty playable right now. That's all I'll say. He's playable. He's actually pretty playable, pretty good, and you usually never really see him in PvE. Obviously, he can clear like the lower chapters, but that's not what we're considering right now. We're considering at high level, all level 14s, at endgame. What do you see him in, right? So you see him definitely in PvP for sure, and he's pretty effective. So he's actually pretty strong, man. Like he's like He's like here. Yeah, he's like here. Yeah. My boy Joel making it up. So Leonhardt, he's actually, you know, he's not pretty strong. He's not up here. He's kind of strong. He's like here where Hansi is. And to be honest, he's like in the middle. Yeah, he's like here. Yeah, I mean, I'll give him a little more credit. He's actually a really good tank. So I'll give him like this. Yeah, like a Hansi. Lily, I love Lily. So for Lily, she's pretty good. Pretty good. No memes. She's actually pretty good. She's like here. She's like here. Yeah, something around. Yeah, like here. She's used in PvP. Technically, she's used in PvP. Okay, technically. But it's kind of hard for me to put her like even in this area, so you definitely see her more in PvE. She's a hero lock character. I use her a lot for chapter 10. She's actually like the best tank for chapter 10 in my opinion. So she's like here. Yeah, she's like here. So like she's used for PvE mainly, but she can also be used in PvP some. So yeah, like something like this. She's really good. She's really good. So the next one we have my favorite character in the game and also the current battle pass, Lunaire. She's definitely amazingly strong, for sure. And she's definitely in the middle. She's like where Aramis is, but I can't see. Oh, I'm blocking Aramis. I'm just gonna do I'm doing like this, okay? Just know that she's in the middle like Aramis is, all right? She's used both in PvP and PvE. In PvP, she's used pretty much in all builds, pretty much, except for like stun trio and things like that. But she's used a lot. And then for PvE, she's used even more, in my opinion. In raids, she's used always, and yeah, like she's used throughout the whole game. She's used. Great character. So Lyca. He was the best, or one of the best, round 1 heroes to have in PvP. He's still really good. It's just there are some other options now for round 1 dominators. He's still pretty solid, but he's kind of fallen off some actually. So he's kind of like here. Maybe he's also a hero lock character, so you can use him for PvE, but he's not really used outside of hero lock too much, or even in raids. So I'll put him over in the PvP side. That's where he shines, I think. He's also really good in PvE too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, something like this. So the next one we have is Mara. She's actually been a tear recently this season. She's actually received a number of buffs, and she's really strong right now. Has a lot of good pairings with other heroes and things like that, and she can combo well. She's a great round 1 hero in PvP. You can actually do PvE with her really well, in my opinion. She should, for me, she's like here. But for most people, she's more PvP based for sure. She's like around, she's like here, like a little past Daniel, I'd say. Yeah, something like, you know, I'll move this over. Something like this. Yeah, I like that. Mel, I love Mel. She is definitely amazingly strong. She is used in PvP. I use her in PvP, the giant mage build. But right now, she's not really that great. She's kind of out of the meta. But she can be used in PvP. You mainly see her in PvE. When I say PvE, she's used in raids exclusively. She can do chapter builds, but she's not too great at it. Yeah, she's about here. Yeah, about here. So she can do PvP, but mainly in PvE. Yeah, like about here, I'd say. So Mirsyl's really good. So really good about here. And, you know, she can do both PvP and PvE. She's great. She's not amazingly strong. Well, she's pretty strong. Yeah, somewhere around here. Like Hela's like, yeah, like this. Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, she's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. I would right now. She's actually used a lot in PvP. But she's actually used in PvE a lot as well. She can do chapter builds and she's used in raids. But she's like, I'd say here because she's used in PvP more right now. So yeah, something like this. Yeah, I like that. Next one, we have one of the recent heroes, Neria. This is an unfortunate one. So she has a lot of problems with her kit and how she performs and things like that. I love how she looks, but she's actually, in my opinion, one of the weakest character in the game right now. So I'm gonna put her all the way in not strong. She is strong. She can actually like one-shot chapter bosses, but other than that, it gets too long to get her going. Like her animations are really slow and things like that. So yeah, so not strong. So she's like, I'd say impossible for PvP, at least in the current meta. So she's definitely a PvE kind of character. But I can see some potential in PvP. So like maybe here. Unfortunately, until some changes or buffs happen to her. But yeah, so for Priya, I actually love her new skin. I love the key art for that. Priya, she's used in PvP mainly for the Stunlock team. You don't really see her in PvE, in like the main chapter meta builds or anything like that. So for PvP, usually see her. She is, she's like, she did get a buff recently. She did get a buff, but it didn't really change too much. I'd say like here. I'd give her there. Yeah, I'll give her here. So the next one, we have my boy Rahawk. This skin is so awesome, the cat one. But yeah, so Rahawk, pretty good. Last season, he was actually really good. Just that now there are many really good characters, you know? I don't know what happened. He's like in the middle, somewhere in the middle right now. He's pretty good still. He actually is used in PvP builds, last season at least. This season, you don't really see Rahawk builds. But when the meta comes around, you'll for sure see him in arena builds. But for right now, I'm gonna say he's more PvE because of raids. So in raids, he's actually used to increase your damage by 10% because of his level 8 passive. So yeah, I want to say he's used primarily in PvE generally. But when the season is right, he can be used in PvP as well. So right now, I'm gonna put him like, I will put him past Hansi actually, which is crazy to say. I'm gonna do like here, like close. Yeah, close like that. Yeah, I like that. So for Ren, she received a pretty big change recently, and I actually would have put Ren like pretty low. Like she was almost like unplayable. Well, not unplayable, but like pretty weak, right? So after her changes, in my opinion, it actually made her playable. I don't think she's like really strong or anything. I think she's actually like kind of playable now. So she's like, I will give her like stronger than Chung Ah. All right, so like here. She kinda can do PvP, but I'm gonna say chapter builds is where she shines. So I'm gonna put her like something like, you know what, something like this. She can do a little bit of PvP, but she's mainly like a PvE kind of person. Yeah. So next one, we have a Rossette, another character that I believe is one of the weakest characters in the game. Actually, they actually try to buff her in a recent patch where she starts with 50% mana, so she's able to get her skill off, but I still don't think that's enough to make her like more usable. She's mainly used in PvP strictly because of raids, and it's because of her Awakening Exposed Weakness. It'll boost your team's damage in raids by 15%, which is really good. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in PvE, and she's actually all the way next to Neria at not strong. So yeah. Next one, we have Shelda. So Shelda is an amazing tank. She is amazingly strong. No, not quite. She's like pretty strong. She's a really good tank, and she is used in PvP some. But mainly she's used in PvE. So she's really great in chapter 9. She's really great to tank any chapters really, except for 10. She's not a great tank for chapter 10. But she's used in raids all the time. And she's like over here, yeah, like next to, like right before Bardrey, I'd say, like right here. So Taesan, I did do a chapter 10 video with him, but even if I made a chapter 10 video with him, it doesn't mean that he's a strong character, okay? So I just made him work. And I do think he's strictly a PvP character. He's actually used in some of the stunlock teams right now. Not bad, not bad. You know what? I'll give him like a little Chung Ah level, maybe. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'll give him that. But yeah, he needs some buffs or something. Yeah. So next one is going to be Tia. I love her new skin. So Tia, she is really strong. So they buffed her some patch ago, and she's used in PvP meta builds all the time in high ladder. She can also do PvE really well too, but currently you see her mainly in PvP. So she's like Behemus level right now. I wouldn't say she's like up here. Maybe last season she was up here, but I'd say she was like around here. Next one, we have Yeon. There was a time when Yeon was like amazing, right? And then she just keeps on falling off. You don't really see her, unfortunately. For PvE, she's not really used at all. You do see her in PvP, so I'm gonna say somewhere around here. Something like this, like Chung Ah level, yeah. Like maybe past Taesan, like Taesan a little back. Like that. Yeah. Next one, Zuo Bai. I love his new skin as well. So for Zuo Bai, he is crazy strong right now. He's like here, I'd say with Tia and Behemus. He can do PvE really well too. So I'm gonna put him like he's really strong in arena right now. So I can't really put him in the middle. I feel better if I do something like this. I feel weird putting him all the way in the amazingly strong, so I'm gonna put him like something like this. He's really good right now. He's really good. So the next one that we have is Zuo Yun. Zuo Yun is amazingly strong, and he is used in PvP depending on the season and the meta, but right now he's definitely not used in PvP. He's actually not that good right now. But he is definitely used in PvP often, and the reason why he's amazingly strong is that he's used in raid builds all the time. So yeah, he's like Mel levels, so he's like something like this, I guess. Very similar to Mel. Very similar to how I feel about Mel in this list. So yeah, last one on the list. So Zupitere, she is still really strong. So amazingly strong, I think. She can beat Tia builds. She can even beat Behemus builds depending on weapon effects and things like that. So amazingly strong for sure. So she can do PvE some. But she's mainly PvP focused, I'd say. So maybe something like this. Yeah, I like that. And that is it. That is my ultimate hero PvP PvE tier list for the game King God Castle. Please leave a comment down below and let me know if you agree with it or anything that you would change or how you feel about it. And as a reminder, to enter that giveaway, be sure to subscribe, like this video, and on this video down below, leave a comment on what your favorite hero is and why. And yeah, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.